I look at this track record and I see this 20th forum coming up this fall, and I'm wondering how you're feeling about this building small community, continuously growing, steadily growing. Where do you see this movement headed, and are you comfortable being this core shepherd as it moves forward?
Yeah, I mean, I do think we've turned the corner where it's no longer a quaint idea that's off in the wilderness. I think there's a lot behind it. It's got a long way to go, but I think there are three forces at play. The first one is DEI, and I didn't mean to be dismissive when I said that, but what I'm talking about is the difference between DEI programs that are performative, meaning, oh, we'll create this program, we'll do this, and we'll attract some people of color, versus doing something that I think we're doing in small scale development, which naturally brings people of color in. And what I see is the people who are coming to our forums want to work in their communities, not in a corporate role in a big REIT. They want to work in their communities where they grew up, where they've seen distress, where they've seen redlining, and they want to make a difference. And so the way you do that is by being a small scale entrepreneur. So we're not asking, they're coming to us. And I think we're having a big impact in terms of motivating. The other thing is, I think there's just so much attention and interest in creating real places, and the loss of economic resilience and authenticity and unique places as opposed to formulaic places, the backlash to the 4 stories over concrete podium 200-unit apartment buildings that seem to be everywhere, and the cheesecake factories and the Taco Bells and whatever else that populates our corridors. So I think people are starting to recognize that real places require smaller scale, incremental, rapid prototyping, kind of experimental tactical urbanism things, and that's coming from people from our world. And then the last thing is, I just think we're read the news today about what's happening in the office sector. I mean, I think we're headed into a world where, while there may be a lot of capital sloshing around out there, it's going to be very, very judicious in terms of where it goes. It's going to be very hard to do some of these mega projects that we used to see. It's not going to be easy to do small projects because, unfortunately, the lenders for small projects are the community banks that are being, highly scrutinized after the failure of SVB and stuff. But I think that there's going to be more opportunity for smaller projects, because you can lose $1 million, not $100 million, if you're an investor or you're a developer. And there's a couple of millions that don't go necessarily great, build up to something, the sum is greater than the parts, and long term you do create value. So I think, and as far as a role, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is one of those things where I didn't sit down one day and say, okay, this is where I want to be in 10 years. This is what I want to. It's been very much a make it up as I go, but I am so passionate and feel so fortunate to have met the people I have, to seen the things I've had, and to be able to, I think, sit and talk to people like you and share the joy and the passion, and hopefully the power and potential of this, so that we can grow the movement. So absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a wonderful mission, and I'm personally excited to take more of a role in it and be a part of it. It's definitely something for me. If any of you've been listening for some time, I find a lot of interest in building small and in making a community out of something that doesn't necessarily have to be at scale. It doesn't need to be this big giant thing. It can be something that's just down on Main Street, and I love that opportunity.